Welcome to our second class of chapter 11. So in the last class, we spoke about parallel lines, we spoke about what a parallelogram is, and we also talked about figures that have the same base and are between the same parallel lines. Now let's recap it once, okay? Parallel lines. What are parallel lines? See, there's some lines which are like they don't ever meet. It's like railway tracks. Okay, if the railway tracks are always going like this, they never meet ever like this, right? They keep indefinitely going like this. Even if you extend the track further, like even these two lines, if I keep extending these like this, and all, they won't meet. And that is basically what parallel lines is. So every time you think of parallel lines, you should visualize railway track. The biggest and most important example of parallel lines is railway track. Okay. And the second thing is we spoke about, see now, like how straight lines, you have a figure called rectangle, you have something called a parallelogram, and this is made of parallel lines, like two the opposite sides are parallel to each other. This is parallel to this is parallel to this. Like I'm pretty sure you have learned the definitions before, but I want to recap it once so that it will be more helpful for you. And then we also spoke about figures that have the same base, like this triangle, and then there's another line parallel, and these two. Like we spoke about all these things, right? So there are two lines parallel, and then the base is the same, and there are two figures lying between the same parallel lines. We also talked about these kind of figures. Now let's say we have figures. Okay, again we have two figures, and the properties of these figures are, again, they have the same base, they're between the same parallels, just like before. The only extra property here is the opposite sides of these figures, like not the parallel lines, the other two sides of the figure. These figures are four sides, okay, these two figures. So the other two sides are also parallel, like this. Like say, this is a parallel line, this is a parallel line. Okay, now DC is a common base. And this PB is the line that is parallel to DC. Now there are two figures, ABCD and PQCD. Both of these are between the same parallel lines, PB and BC. And they have the same base, DC. Now the third point is, the first point was they have the same base. The second point is they are between the same parallels. Now the third point is the opposite sides, the other two sides, okay, like PD and QC are parallel. AD and BC are also parallel. So what are the two parallelograms we have? ABCD, ABCD and PQCD. Now we're talking about these kind of figures, okay. Now normally, you know what area is? Area is the amount of space that is occupied by this. Like I have a figure here. It is occupying some area on this sheet. Now each of these figures, A, B, C, P and P, Q, C, D, they are occupying some space on this paper here. Some space they're occupying. No. Now I want to calculate how much such space is, which is nothing but the area of this. So I want to know what is the area of these two figures. Now how do I do this? See, like we already know, and I want you guys to do it now. Okay, I want you to try doing this and check. Okay, it is very important to do this at home once, to see, like, to understand and visualize. Okay, so how do you calculate area of something? You spread a graph sheet on this. Okay, I will spread a graph sheet on this. Like if I want to calculate the area of this figure specifically, I will calculate a graph sheet. Okay, I'll take a graph sheet and I'll put the graph sheet on this, and I'll draw the same figure on that graph sheet also. Now what to do? Well, how do you calculate the area? Now graph sheet has full boxes. No, so now you start, like if I had a graph sheet on this like this, okay, if I had a graph sheet like this, then I have to start coloring it like this. Wherever this figure is, no, I'll color it. Like this figure is here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, you color it. Now first thing you do is you count the number of squares in the graph sheet which are completely enclosed. That means which are completely shaded like this. Full square is shaded. And then you calculate the number of such squares in which more than half is shaded, like this or like this, like more than half is shaded, and you ignore those in which only little is shaded, like this or just this much here or something like it's shaded here. Like you ignore these kind of squares and you only calculate those squares which are completely filled, and those squares which have at least half or more than half filled. Okay, now and you ignore those which are less than half. Okay, now the summation of the squares that you have which are full and less and greater than half is the area of the figure. And now what you will notice is these two figures that I was talking about, these two here, which are between the same parallels, have the same base, and the opposite sides are parallel. With these three conditions, the figures with these three conditions here will have the same area. Now you have proved this graphically. If you do this with a graph paper, you have proved this graphically. But we also have to prove it. You don't always have a graph paper, you know. See, this is like an example where you checked it, this is happening. But to prove that it is happening for all figures in this which satisfy these conditions, like any other, if I draw one more figure here, okay, like this, and one more small figure like this, okay, and say these two are parallel, if the same thing I do again, and then I want to also know this applies to this, every time you can't take a graph paper and do no, which is why we need a proper substantial mathematical proof that is applicable in general for all figures that satisfy these three conditions. Okay, again, to repeat myself, you have three conditions. The first condition is they have the same base. The second condition is they are between the same parallels. Okay, I mean the line opposite to the base is also parallel, like you get it, right? And the third one is the opposite sides. These two sides also have to be parallel. Okay, basically parallelograms. Okay, now how do we prove this? First of all, do you guys understand that these are parallelograms? See, because we know PB is parallel to DC, they are between the same parallels. If PB is parallel to DC, then AB, this part of the parallel line is also parallel, no? Because even if I extend this like this, infinitely, it will always be parallel. That is the whole definition of parallel lines, no? So, even AB is parallel to DC. Now, PQ is also parallel to DC. And what is the third point? Opposite sides are parallel. Now, because the third point says, the condition says opposite sides are parallel, which means these two, PD and QC are parallel. That means PD, QC are parallel, PQ, DC is parallel. That means this is a parallelogram. Opposite sides are parallel. Similarly, AD and BC are parallel based on the third property we have here. And we already know AB and DC are parallel, which means these two sides are parallel, these two sides are parallel, which makes this a parallelogram. So we have two parallelograms lying between the same parallels and same base. Two parallelograms, same parallels and one base. Okay. Now how do we prove this mathematically? That is very important. So let's state this again. Okay, now let's frame this as a theorem. Now you understand the theory behind this theorem, the theory behind this, but you also need to be able to state it mathematically. And when you state something mathematically and when you prove it, you call it a theorem. Okay, so how do you state this theorem? You have to show it in a generalized way. So you say parallelograms which have the same base and are between the same parallel lines are equal in area, have the same base and between the same parallel lines. This means because they have the same since it's parallelogram. See, like this, parallel lines, parallelograms between the same parallel lines and same base. That means first condition, same base. Okay, we satisfy the first condition. The second condition, between same parallel lines, you satisfied that also. Third point is because they are parallelograms, that means opposite sides are parallel anyway. We know that. So the third condition was opposite sides are parallel. So all these 3 points are correct. So we are talking about these figures which are parallelograms, same base, and lie between same parallels, have the same area. Now how do you prove that? Now look at this figure. Okay, I have 2 parallelograms here. I have, see, AF and BC are parallel. First of all, AF is parallel to BC, and both these the figures I'm talking about is ABCD, and the second figure I'm talking about is EFCD. Okay, now these two lie between the same parallels AF and DC, and they have the same base CD. And because I am already telling you they are parallelograms, AD is parallel to BC and ED is parallel to FC. So I have 2 parallelograms, these 2 parallelograms. Now what do I have to prove? I have to prove area of ABCD equal to area of EFCD. Now how do I prove this? See, first let's look at it. ABCD is a parallelogram. What does this mean? Opposite sides are parallel. That means AD is parallel to BC. That is the property of the parallelogram, and opposite sides are equal. Now because AD is parallel to BC, now just remove all this and just look at this figure. AD is parallel to BC. Okay, so by the property of parallel lines, okay, these two are parallel and this is the line that's passing through the parallelogram, the parallel lines, which means this angle here and this angle here are equal by property of parallel lines that you have learnt before. So DAE is equal to CBF. Because they are corresponding angles. This angle here and this angle here are corresponding angles because AD is parallel to BC. These two are parallel. Okay. Now similarly, EF is parallel to FC. ED is parallel to FC. Now these two are parallel now like this. Look at this parallelogram. ED and FC are parallel. So that means this angle, so this line is running through these two parallel lines. This line is running through parallel line this and parallel line this, which means this angle E here and this angle here are equal by property of parallel lines, corresponding angles there, right? So this angle is equal to this angle is equal to this angle. And what is the sum of angles in a triangle? It is 180 degrees, right? So if sum of all angles here is 180 and sum of all angles in this is also 180, then since these two angles are equal to these two angles, the third angle will be the same, because I'll tell you, okay, in this triangle itself, 180 equal to angle A plus angle E plus angle D. That means angle D equal to 180 minus angle A minus angle E. And in this triangle here, angle C plus angle B plus angle F equal to 180. That means angle C equal to 180 minus angle B minus angle F. But B is equal to A and F equal to E. That means 180 minus angle A minus angle E, which is nothing but angle D like we just calculated, right? That means angle D is equal to angle C. So that's how by angle sum property of triangles. Angle ADE is equal to BC and F. Okay, and by property of parallelogram, opposite sides AD is equal to BC. Now this angle is equal, this side is equal to this side, and these two angles are equal. So what congruency property is this? ASA. So by the ASA congruency rule, ADE, this ADE is what? Is congruent to BFC. These two triangles are congruent. Now what is the property of congruency? What is the property of congruency? Congruency means that the areas are same. No. So if the areas are same, that means area of this triangle is equal to area of this triangle. So let's write it a little formally, okay? Area of ADE is equal to area of BCF. Now because area of AD excuse me, area of ADE equal to area of BCF. Now this much we have proved, no? What I'll say is, first now you guys, now that you have understood this much, you try to do this by yourself. Make notes now. Try to make your own notes. Try to write everything I've said till now, the whole proof till this point. You try to write by yourself. If you cannot, if you have any issues, you rewind the video, rewatch it and write. Okay. And for sake of notes, please look at this. This is the notes. Okay. Okay, this is the notes. Pause the video here and jot down and make sure you have written it correctly. Okay. I'll give you 1 minute time, and once you're done with that, I will continue with the next part of the proof. Okay. So far we have concluded is that ADE, this triangle has the same area as this triangle here. Okay. Now you look at this, pause the video here, take 2 minutes, look at the proof again, understand and check if you understand every step. Okay, I have written explanations here, I have written this, and if you don't understand anything, please write in the comments. Okay, take 1 minute break, look at the proof, and then I will continue the rest of the proof. Okay, thank you. So I hope you have looked at the theorem. Now that you have understood till here, now that you understand that the area of this triangle here and this triangle here is same. Okay, so we know that area of ADE is equal to area of BCF. Now let's look at the whole parallelogram. Okay, let's look at just ABCD parallelogram. This is the parallelogram that we have. Okay, now that there's a parallelogram here, now ABCD, see, sum of this area of ABCD is sum of this area. So the whole space that ABCD is occupying is the space that is occupied by this part, this much, this EBCD and AED. You can say space occupied by this plus space occupied. This is the space, the total space. That means area of AED plus area of EBCD is the total area of ABCD. No. Now let's write that. Okay. Now let's write that area of ABCD equal to area of the triangle plus area of that quadrilateral DEBC. Okay. But we already know ADE is equal to BCF, that area, those two triangles that I was talking about. That means you can say that ADE, area of ADE, you replace it by BCF. Huh? The area of BCF plus area of DEBC. Okay. Okay, area of BCF plus area of DEBC, which means BCF, this area, plus DEBC, the same, this side area. Okay, what is this? This is the second parallelogram, no? So see, first we summed these two, but this is equal to this. So we removed this and we said this plus this. Now this plus this is the area of the whole parallelogram, the other second parallelogram, no? Because second parallelogram is what? EFCD. EFCD area can be talked as area occupied by EBCD plus area occupied by BCF. So that means this is nothing but the area of the second parallelogram. Hence we have proved that area of ABCD equal to area of EFCD if ABCD and EFCD are parallelograms. Three conditions. Firstly, they have to be parallelograms. The second condition, same base. Third condition, between same parallels. If these three conditions are satisfied, then ABCD and EFCD have the same area. Now, we will discuss the next theorem in the next class. Please try and do this theorem on your own once and try and see if you understand everything. If you don't, please just comment on the video or contact Rahul and I will definitely get back to you with a more clear explanation. Okay? Thank you.